Why do you think Meta did not elaborate on its plan of an immersive world after the launch and has merely become another name for Facebook? The Cold War between Apple and Meta is more than what you know. Keep watching to find out how Apple crushed Meta. But first, make sure you hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up while you're at it. After Zuckerberg announced the launch of Meta, the internet went crazy over the idea of a virtual world. There were mixed reviews about the new idea, and initially, people thought this would completely change the internet, and it would work like a matrix, where people fully indulge in a realistic experience. But very soon after the name launch, it became clear that Meta would so far only work as a parent brand for all the branches of social media platforms that fall under it, including Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. To experience Metaverse, people need to purchase VRs and then learn the softwares or applications that link the VR to the Metaverse. It would look more like an immersive game with 3D visuals, except that this platform would let people connect and meet virtually. While the internet wouldn't stop talking about Meta, the rival tech company Apple wasn't just going to sit and watch the hype land over on Facebook headquarters. Talking about virtual reality, the war between the two tech companies started from the idea of taking socializing to a new level. Meta obviously had plans to introduce tech gadgets like VRs for people to purchase and experience the new metaverse. This didn't fit right with Apple because, for the longest time, Apple has been the one producing gadgets, and Facebook is simply an application to be downloaded on the gadget. If people started purchasing VRs from Meta, and if they get addicted to the idea of it, like they are addicted to phones these days, this would mean that Apple would have to stop the production of a couple products, like iPads, because they would quite literally be useless then. This would eventually lead to losses of billions. What's even more interesting is that if Meta starts producing VRs and related gadgets, they would most likely have installed softwares or applications that come under Zuckerberg's realm. Meta would make sure that Apple does not replicate VRs because social media applications are still owned by Meta and not Apple. So even if Apple does end up producing VRs, they won't have Metaverse in it. Apple, however, was quick in reacting toward this scenario. It soon developed its new update with a couple privacy policy changes that took the internet by storm and turned the tables. After the firm disclosed that privacy modifications Apple implemented to its iOS platform last year had started to bite into the social networking giant's bottom line, shares of Facebook parent company Meta were crushed, tumbling 26% on Thursday. The CEO of Meta, Mark Zuckerberg, stated in the company's Q4 earnings report, which was made public on Wednesday, that the App Tracking Transparency feature, also known as ATT, will cost Meta $10 billion in revenue by the year 2022. This feature ended up hitting Meta in its heart because Facebook earns a huge percentage of its revenues through ads from businesses. This permission feature in the iOS update allowed users to allow or deny the applications to track their activity to give related ads through the social media algorithm. This algorithm worked perfectly fine for businesses and Facebook. It was a win-win for everyone until Apple brought up this feature. Now people started believing that app tracking would allow their information to get leaked and their privacy to get compromised, due to which many users stopped allowing apps to track their activity. Ads are no longer effectively reaching their target audience, which has led to Facebook facing losses because businesses no longer wish to invest in Facebook as their primary marketing source. These losses have obviously hindered Meta's plans of an immersive world, because only naturally the headquarters are currently focusing on coming up with a counterplan to make up the losses and create an update that would regain the trust of online businesses to invest again for ads. At the same time, apps like Snap and Pinterest seem to be handling the move well. Snap reports that its advertising partners are adjusting to the new system effectively, and that's because these applications do not rely entirely on advertisements from their consumers. Now, to understand better, let's dissect. Your iOS and iPadOS devices contain a tracking tool known as an IDFA, or Identification for Advertisers. Apple uses a randomized identification called an IDFA to let advertisers follow your online and mobile behavior without accessing your personal data. Advertisers need to track your behavior in order to deliver you targeted advertisements and evaluate the effectiveness of their marketing initiatives. As a result, IDFA can assist advertisers in sending you adverts for pet food or toys if you frequently visit websites devoted to pets. However, during the past few years, Apple has emphasized privacy as a component of its product line and has taken steps to restrict the ability of businesses to track specific user behaviors via its Safari browser. App tracking transparency fills this need. When users launch an app, the feature, which was introduced as part of iOS 14.5 in April 2021, pops up and asks if they want the app to follow their data. You got it. Advertising is how Meta makes the vast bulk of its money. Advertisers will look elsewhere for their advertising needs if they are unable to accurately measure the effectiveness of their commercials or target certain demographics with them. According to Meta, ATT's income loss is also hurting small businesses who depend on the company's advertising services to reach the right clients. Before Apple introduced ATT, Meta alleged that the iPhone manufacturer was merely dispensing the software to swell its coffers. Currently, Apple is dominating the tech market across the globe, but largely in America. Around 70% of smartphone users in America own Apple, and this market share is not something Apple can afford losing. While things have been pretty smooth with social media applications and Apple so far, the only problem that Apple had with these applications was that they were free for the public. App Store has been serving as a platform for the applications to be widely available to the users. But what's interesting is that even though these apps are earning through ads, Apple does not have share in that because these apps are free. This might have sparked the idea of in-app purchases, where users could select premium options to opt out of ads and have an ad-free experience. Naturally, Apple has a share in those premium options, because why else would they run apps for free on their devices? Even more interesting is the fact that Apple keeps asking people to shift to premium with bare minimum fees. This also affects Facebook ads in an adverse way, because the app earns more when people engage more with ads, because that's exactly what they are charging the business for. If more people start shifting to premium with a small fee, eventually the ads will have lesser engagement and reach, which would put off the business from investing. In the big picture, it is easy to establish the fact that social media platforms are making money through ads, and ads are exactly where the war between the tech companies starts. What's worth the wait is how Meta will tackle the issue of marketing VRs enough that they will become the norm, and people start using the product more than any Apple products available in the market today. One thing the world knows for sure is that things need to evolve and get more simplified. A couple of years from now, it is evident that no one would want to hoard multiple gadgets, including laptops, phones, iPads, and smartwatches. It all has to somehow come down to a single sufficient gadget, and VR might actually be the game changer. It's all about Meta wanting revolution and Apple wanting to sustain their products. Who do you think will dominate the market in the next few years? Meta or Apple? Let us know in the comments below, and make sure you like, comment, and share.